4 steps. Let's have a go in another example then. Okay, example B. I have this triangle over here. Got right angle, I've got X, this is 42 degrees, and I've got 4 over here. Okay, first step, as always, label the sides. So let's label the 3 sides. Let's start off with a hypotenuse. I go to my right angle and I go across. I've got a hypotenuse here, there's no value there. So I'm not going to be involving my hypotenuse for this question here. Okay, next step. I'm going to have my opposite side. The opposite side is opposite the given angle. So here the given angle is 42 degrees. I go opposite it. And so this X over here is going to be my opposite side. Okay, so I have my opposite, and the last side is my adjacent side, which is the one that's right next to my angle, or the one that's left over. So here my 4 is going to be my adjacent side. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to look back up at my 3 trig ratios. I've got sine, cos, and tan. Which one has the 2 sides I'm given? So here, I don't have any value for the hypotenuse, so I'm not actually going to be using my hypotenuse. So here, I've got opposite and adjacent. Which one has opposite and adjacent? If you have a look, we have O and A in tan. So here, I'm going to be using tan for this question. Okay, now that I've got that, I'm going to write my equation. So here, I'm going to write tan. I'm going to put in my angle. The angle that I have here is 42 degrees. So I'm going to do tan 42 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. So just remember the order. TOA, OA, O over A. So here, I'm going to write X over 4. Because my opposite side is X, my adjacent side is 4. So I've got my equation here. Now that I've done that, I'm going to rearrange for X. So I'm going to move X to the left-hand side. And if I want to get rid of that division by 4, so over 4, I need to multiply by 4. So I'm going to have 4 times tan 42 degrees. And I can put that in my calculator. So here, X is going to be equal to, I'll go to my calculator, 4 times tan 42, close my bracket, and that will give me 3.601. I needed 2 decimal places, so this is just going to be 3.60. And there we go. There's my answer for this second one. Okay, so I did those 4 steps again. Hopefully you're starting to get the hang of it. Let's do this last question now. C. I've got this triangle over here. I've got X, 24 degrees, and 10. Let's have a go at this one. So first step, label and identify. Let's label our side. So I start at my right angle, I go across, and so this side over here, this 10 is going to be my hypotenuse, H. Next, I go to my angle, and I go across from the angle. So I have an angle of 24 degrees. I go across, and that side is my opposite side. I don't have any value there. So I'm not going to be involving my opposite side for this question. And all I'm left with is my adjacent side, which is the one that's next to my angle. So X is my adjacent side. Now looking at my 3 trig ratios, hopefully you've noticed that I haven't used one yet. So this one is my adjacent and hypotenuse. Which one has adjacent and hypotenuse? Cos has adjacent and hypotenuse. So here, I'm going to be using cos. Next step, I write the trig equation. So I'm going to go cos my angle. So angle is 24 degrees. Cos 24 degrees is equal to my adjacent, so X over my hypotenuse, 10. So for this question, I've got written down my trig equation. I'm using cos, and I've got adjacent over hypotenuse. Third step is I rearrange. So I'm going to rearrange it for X. I'm going to have X is equal to, I'm getting rid of that over 10 so that's a division by 10 by multiplying. So here I'm going to have is equal to 10 times cos 24 degrees. Okay, let's put that in the calculator and get an answer. Got 10 times cos 24, 9.315. So when I round that to 2 decimal places, I get 9.14. Okay, so there we go. that's how we use trigonometry to help solve for missing sides. We use these 4 steps that we had up above. So let me go through them again. First step, you label your sides and then you identify what trig ratio you have. So label your 3 sides and you'll usually be given 2 sides in your triangle. Then once you've done that, you want to write the equation using the trig ratio. Using those 2 sides, you go, okay, which trig ratio do I have? Do I have sine, so opposite and hypotenuse, cos, adjacent and hypotenuse, or tan, opposite and adjacent? So that's the second one, write the trig equation. Then you rearrange the equation for the missing side. For this example, we've been looking at solving missing sides where it's a shorter side. And so what we will notice is that you're often going to be just multiplying that number at the bottom of the fraction across. So here we rearrange by multiplying. And then the final step is then we solve by putting it into your calculator. So that's how we solve for missing sides using trigonometry. Hopefully that was helpful, and if you need to go back on any of these examples, you can, just so you can see how we do those 3 steps. Have a go at the questions, and all the best Year 9s. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me online.